Hi, it's Gordon with week 13 of a year with Mya-Moe Unscripted, and this week's subject is the Resonator. Here's one of our tenor resonators. This is Char's. The Resonator instrument was invented in the 1920s, back when guitars just started playing with big bands, but they couldn't be heard over all the other instruments. So they needed a way to amplify the instrument, but this was before the electric guitar had been invented. So they invented this passive form, non-electronic form of amplification. And as you can hear, it yields a very much louder, punchy instrument with a very distinctive tone. Now, unfortunately, 6 months later, the electric guitar was invented, or maybe fortunately. But the resonator tone is still something sought after by a lot of folks. Not only because it gives a louder instrument that doesn't need to be plugged in, but some people just love that, that very distinctive tone, either in a guitar or in a ukulele. So this is the cover plate, is what it's called, that you see on top here. And where the strings tie in, down here, that's called a tie block, and that's just for terminating the strings. But you really can't see much of what goes on inside that instrument. So I've got another one here that I thought I'd show you, under construction. So here it is here's the cover plate, which I've unscrewed. So I'm going to pull that off. And now what you see inside is this one has a pickup, so that's the wire going from it. And then there's that part right in the middle, right there. That's the biscuit bridge and saddle. And this aluminum part is the cone. And it all is sitting in a hand-turned sound well that we make out of wood. So here is that sound well right here. And I do that on a lathe. There's a video on our workshop or on our website of how that's done. And you can see this rim right down at the bottom here. And that's right where the cone fits in. And then here is a cone. These are also turned on a lathe. We have ours made by National Resophonics down in San Luis Obispo. We love their cones. They're very light and very responsive. And then here is that little maple biscuit bridge and saddle. And so the tops of these get slotted for the individual strings, and the strings ride over those. So back to this one where it's been slotted. I think you can see, yep, you can see there. So the 4 strings ride over that biscuit bridge, and they press down on the cone. And then when you strum the strings, they vibrate, and that moves it up and down, and the cone moves up and down, kind of like a speaker cone, very much like a speaker cone. And that is what gives you the volume out of the resonator. And that aluminum part is what gives you that very distinctive tone. Now what we aim for in our resonator is to have a very, what we think of as woody component. We would rather it not be metallic sounding. So some people make metal or fiberglass resonators. Those yield a very specific tone. We're wood people, so we like to hear that really wood component in the resonator, and each of our different woods yields a different tone, much as in the acoustic instruments. Now that tone bandwidth or difference between the warmest and the brightest is a lot tighter on the resonator because the cone does play an important part. This pickup is Shatton Designs Biscuit Bridge pickup made in Canada. We really like it for the resonator if you need a pickup. Some people do. But if you don't need a pickup, we recommend that you don't put one in. We can add it afterwards. It goes through a little hole here. Oh, it's really hard for me to see with the camera. Try to get the right way. Here we go. So it goes through that little hole there to the pickup jack. But since it sits on the biscuit, it is added weight and inertia on the cone. And so it does have an effect on the acoustic sound of the instrument. And that's why we recommend, if you don't need one or aren't sure, don't add it. We can put it in later. Anyway, that's a bit about the resonator and how it works and the different parts in it. And next week I'm going to do a video on the parts of our other ukuleles. Thanks, and we'll see you then.